Hello, soul family, friends. Okay, let's get straight to the point today. Like I was saying on the last video that I made, I think this is a good time to talk about the lone wolf journey. Human beings, in general, have this misunderstanding because we've literally, we've been basically told since childhood, and as we're growing up, you know, we're preconditioned. We're basically, programmed to believe that in order for us to be happy, truly happy, we have to find a partner, and then hopefully find the right one, right? And then you have a family, you have children, you know. It's a beautiful thing. That's undeniable. That those are facts. It would feel like a waste, and that's my personal opinion, if you came into this world and you didn't leave anything behind after you were gone, like a part of you, your lineage, your DNA. I think that's a very important thing to do. I know and I understand that that's not going to be for everyone, that there will be people out there that will choose not to have children, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that either. But my personal view, my personal opinion, it kind of feels like a wasted opportunity. But what I wanted to say was that the issue lies within we we have all these faults, flaws within ourselves if we're just living a normal life like most people do. And then most of the time, in this day and age, it's almost all of the time, there's going to be a very small percentage, that's not going to be the case, but the data speaks for itself. Anyone can look up the data and see, the divorce rate, not only in the US, but in many other countries worldwide, and how everything is completely out of balance now, almost to the level of insanity. And what I mean by that is that we 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 go out there looking for someone to be in our lives, and most of the time, and I mean this, sincerely, most of the time, you will not find the right person to be with you because you don't you didn't do any work on yourself. to allow the right person to come into your life. So what happens is it's very simple. It's very simple. Let me have a sip of my coffee here to digest some of the food I just ate. It's very simple. A lot of the times you may be looking for someone, you know, to be in your life. That's not the person you were truly looking for because of all this programming and preconditioning that has been done to you from childbirth, from childhood on, that, you know, people have such unrealistic expectations today. The level of selfishness and lack of understanding, compassion, and that list of feelings and emotions, I could be here for hours. But, you know, it doesn't, I don't have to be here for hours doing that because, you know, I'd be wasting my time. You get what I'm saying. People forgot that to be with someone, romantically speaking, that's a divine act. It's a sacred thing. We live in a day and age where, you know, on one side, you have women hating men because XYZ. And then on the other side, you have men hating women because XYZ. How do any of you guys think that this is going to bring any sort of balance and prosperity to the human race as it currently stands? Can you not see all that is wrong with everything? Have you become so desensitized as a person that you're not capable, that have a conversation with someone when some sort of issue arises? Work stuff out? Do you even know what the meaning of the word partnership means? Partner? Go look it up. Like when someone really loves you, the way love really is, as a couple, for example, you're gonna do everything you can for each other, no matter how good or bad things are, because you understand that you have to work through things to improve things, to make things be better to the way that, let's say, I don't know, you expected it to be, or whatever the case may be. But I'm going a little off topic right now because I just wanted to start like this so you guys can have an idea, you know, what I'm talking about. And then, you know, maybe when I make a second part for this, we'll go back to this topic and talk about this a little bit more, this specific part. But what I'm trying to say is this: we are basically programmed, made to think you know, that we have to have someone in our lives to feel complete, fulfilled. When in reality, most people get a partner in their lives not because they want to have a real partner, but because life is hard as it is by yourself. And it's always nice to have some sort of codependency with somebody else. So, you don't have the burden of all the bills and all the stuff that comes attached with life by yourself. And that is the raw truth of this matter, whether you like it or not. Most people will find the wrong partners because they were never in tune with themselves to attract what they should have attracted to begin with. I've said this in previous videos, I'm going to say it again. You attract what you are. I'm going to say that phrase once more. You attract what you are. Now let that sink in. Meditate on that. Understand what that really means. Because that's very, very deep. So, the best way for anyone to achieve this attunement with themselves, to learn everything they need to learn about themselves, all of their flaws, all of the good things, all the bad things, is to live alone by yourself. The amount of time that you get to reflect on everything that life has put you through. I highly encourage anyone who has had, multiple, broken relationships in their lives, and they never learned the lesson. It's like one relationship ends and they jump into another straight away. Sometimes they don't even finish the other one and jump into another one. How do you think you are going to achieve any sense of clarity and I can't even think of the word right now. Like, what kind of good do you think that's going to bring it to you? You haven't even given yourself enough time to heal from whatever the hell you are into. And then you just got yourself into some stuff like that all over again? Are you a masochist? Do you like pain? Do you enjoy suffering? It seems that that's the case with most people these days, so it's funny. I just laugh. What are you doing? People need time to heal. People need time to go into hermit mode. Have these introspective moments, reflection. Look back. Put it on the playback button and be like, okay, what went wrong here? And I'm talking about that in a healthy way. Okay, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I know. Yeah, don't live in the past. Yeah, obviously. But you have to do that if you haven't learned the lesson. There isn't another way to learn whatever that was supposed to teach you. Whatever the outcome was. I just started to realize I'm starting to feel I'm saying you know way too much when I'm recording. And I don't do this on purpose. But I'm gonna make a real effort here to pay attention to what I'm saying so that doesn't become an annoyance factor. Um, but what I'm trying to say is we all need time to ourselves. Having time for ourselves is the most powerful tool that anyone can have to properly, I said it again, but I caught it. To properly understand what happened. And if you're in this, you know, eternal survival, there are people out there that they just, I've met many people like that throughout my life. It's like they are afraid to be alone the whole time. I've met so many people like that in my lifetime. And I always looked at that, thinking to myself, why are you doing this to yourself? You just got out of one of the shittiest, situations I've ever seen, and you jumping right straight into another one right away, like now, unless you're like some superhuman person who is capable of healing, you know, emotional damage and trauma and things like that, like within 24 hours or whatever, then you're extraordinary beyond belief, and you should be a case study for scientific purposes and everything. Because as far as I know and understand how the human psyche works, that's not how we work. Think of a broken heart or something like that in the same way as you would if you look at an open wound, a flesh wound, like a knife cut on your leg, like some nasty looking wound that you look at it, you can tell it looks pretty bad, right? So that wound won't heal that fast. You have to take care of it. You have to nurture the wound. You have to like apply medication to it. Sometimes you gotta, take the bandage out, put another one in, keep replacing it until it's fully healed. That is the most simple, easiest analogy that I can think of that is pretty comparable to emotional damage. So there's absolutely no way in hell that, you know, it's just not a healthy way of living your life. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? Ask yourself that question. If that's what you do, I'm not here to judge. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But if that's what you've been doing, and you're telling yourself, "Oh my God, I'm so sick of this. Why is it that every time, I thought it was the one. I thought it was the one." Come on, you didn't see those red flags in the very beginning? That type of stuff. If you have the eyes to see things like that, especially if you've had emotional damage, from other people in your past, you will see those things like almost instantly on somebody else. So if you saw that, why did you jump into it? Like, oh no, this is gonna be great, this is gonna work out, I'm gonna make it work. No, that's not how it works. You're looking at it wrong. You're doing it completely wrong. That's not how it works. Take it from someone who's been around for a little while. That's not how it works. Being alone, living alone by yourself for a certain period of time is one of the most powerful things, is one of the most powerful tools that a person can use to better themselves, to become a better version of themselves. Because when you do that, number one, you're gonna learn how to be the best problem solver in the world. We live in a day and age now that it's not an easy thing to live by yourself, financially speaking. You know, unless you've been blessed, you know, in the wealth department. But it's not easy, you know. And often in life, when we go through specific struggles, have you ever noticed how, you know, when the shit hits the fan, it's like everything at the same time. It's like, I'm sure I'm sure you're all gonna laugh at this because you're gonna be like, damn, he's so right. Because that's exactly what happens in our lives when we go into that depressed mode and we become the victim like full time, and we're like, we go into that desperate mode, total survival mode, and then you're like, oh my god, and then everything that could possibly go wrong starts to go wrong, one thing after the other. Did you ever stop to ask yourself why all of that is happening like that all at the same time? Everything happens for a reason, guys. Everything. I'm gonna cut this part here, and then I'll do the second part, so we can go into more depth about all of this stuff. So I'll see you on the next one. With all my heart and all my soul, I love you all.